Well, good morning, YouTube. Lofty's here. I've popped up to Damrolls again. Now, this is not a brand new bike. It's a bike that is very, very difficult to get test rides on. They sell loads of them, but there's very rarely a demo. So I've managed to get my hands on a 2024 model, which is virtually brand new, done 1,000 miles, and I'm going to give it a bit of a test for you. This is a 2024 Honda X ADV 750. It's gorgeous, it's mint, it's immaculate. I'm really looking forward to riding it. If you're interested in seeing Lofty ride the X ADV 750, you stick around. Well, good morning, YouTube. Lofty's here. I've popped up to Damrolls. Look at this little beauty. Now, these don't come up very often. This isn't the latest 25-26 model. This is the very last of the Mark IIs. It's a 24 model. It's virtually brand new. There's not much difference between these and the new one. It's basically cosmetic. They've fitted a cruise control on the latest model, and they've altered the screen slightly. But to all intents and purposes, this is pretty much the same. It's a good looking bike, isn't it? What do you think? Let's give it some thrash. Okay then, YouTube, we're away. This is a bike I do like. I don't know whether you know this, but it's one of Honda's best-selling bikes in Europe. Is it a scooter? Is it a bike? I don't know. But what I can tell you is the X ADV is a 750cc machine with a DCT box. So it ticks all the boxes for Lofty. It's fairly comfortable. First impressions. It's foot forward, of course. You can sit with it with foot down, but I do like the foot forward because I've got big long legs. So let's take it round the island. That's pretty tractable. The one thing I will say about these is they are quite big, and they're like most maxi scooters. That's what I tend to call it, a maxi scooter. They are heavy. This bike's done 1,000 miles and it's 2 years old. The chap sold it or chopped it back in because it's a bit too big for it, a bit too heavy. And he's had an ADV 350, which is also a cracking bike. Anyway, the best thing we can do is have a little look at it. So here we go. Is it a cock your leg over or put your leg through? I'm not sure, but there's a rack being fitted, but there's no top box, so I'm going to cock my leg over. If the rack was on, I think I'd have to step through. So what do you think? He's Lofty, 6'5", 16.5 stone. Very nice. ADV. These bikes are like rocking horse to get hold of. You just cannot get them. So I'm so pleased. So what do you think? So you can put your feet on standard, put your feet on foot forward. Now, at 6'5", although it's a 750, it's not the most ample in the leg room. It's okay. As I say, foot forward, I can get full lock. Feet there, it's a little bit cramped, but it works. What do you think? Should you have a close look? I've popped it up on the centre stand. What do you think? Now, this has got a few extras. It's got these crash bars down the side, lovely, and it's got the rack on with the grab handles. So I'll just show you these. Look at them, beautiful. The rack with the grab handles, that's going to be different class for a pillion. That is fantastic. So look at the front end. Good looking machine. I think we'll have a close-up. So it's nice, simple roundel. We've got the side stand down, we've got the time across the top, temperature across the top. We're in standard mode. There's different modes. Let's just have a press of the button. Standard, rain, gravel, user, sport. That'll do for me. We're in neutral at the moment, of course. We've got the speedo in the middle, and we've got the fuel gauge along the bottom, and we've got some trips. You can't really fault it, can you? Let's wind it out. Handbrake, very handy on a scooter, especially a DCT handbrake. Here we go, handguard standard, hydraulic brake lever, adjustable. Okay, one position start stop. Here's your gearbox selection. So it's neutral, drive, and you press this for manual, press it again for back to drive. Coming across, we've got this nice little cluster. This is the on-off switch. You push it down to holds keyless, button for the seat, button for the fuel. Coming across, here's all the little extras. We've got the generic style mirrors, quite nice. Hydraulic adjustable front brake, mode button. We've got the old flappy paddles for the changing of the gear if you want to override the gearbox. FN button, the little blade to adjust things, presets, hazard warnings, horn. How about that horn? Should we have a listen? Here we go. Let's have a listen at the tailpipe. Quite a good looking pipe. I should imagine with an aftermarket pipe on this would sound superb. Anyway, let's have a close-up and get the stats. Okay, here we go. Let's give it its title. This is the 2024 Mark II version, Honda X ADV 750. It's a 745cc liquid-cooled 8-valve single overhead cam parallel twin. Now, it's nothing to set the world on fire. It's good old-fashioned technology that'll probably run and run and run forever. It's a 6-speed DCT with a chain drive. The 58 brake horsepower engine lifted out of the Forza and the NC 750. It's the same bike. 50.9 foot-pounds of torque and a fairly hefty 236 kilograms. The seat's coming in reasonably tall at 820 millimetres and we've got 13.2 litres of fuel. You could easily achieve up to 80 miles to the gallon and it's a just shy of 3-gallon tank, 2.9 gallon. We've got 41 millimetre upside down forks with a 120/70/17 tyre, quite a chunky blocky tread. It's a Bridgestone Batlax AX41, whatever that is. It's a tyre I don't know a lot about, but I should imagine if it's Bridgestone it must be pretty good. We've got twin 296mm discs and 4-pot Nissin badged up radial calipers. That'll do for me. Let's have a look at the back. We've got this rather nice chain guard affair which keeps all the muck off the back wheel and keeps the chain looking nice. We've got a single monoshock tucked away under there which I can't see because of the style of the bike. So on the rear it is a 160/60/15 with the same Batlax tyres on. We've got a single 240mm disc and a 1-pot badged up Nissin caliper. And this little affair under here, it's the brake, the parking brake, cable operated parking brake. I do like the pipe and I'm quite impressed with this aftermarket rack. That'd be handy for putting a box on or even putting some throw over luggage over. In general, pretty good. One thing I've always liked about this, these footrests. The pillion footrest, look at that. Folds up, virtually hides. Fantastic. I'm not sure what you think. Is it a motorbike? Is it a motor scooter? I don't know. For some reason, the UK market haven't latched onto scooters yet, and these big maxi scooters are fabulous. As I said earlier, this is one of the best-selling bikes Honda have got in Europe. Italy, Croatia, Austria, Spain, they absolutely love these bikes. They buy them by the thousands. Anyway, let's give it a bit of thrash. Okay then, YouTube. Found exploit in sport mode. I did notice when I switched it off and put it back on again, it did default into standard. So it's something you have to be careful of. If you want to ride it in sport mode, you've got to select it. As I say, one of the new things with the latest model, the Mark III, is it's got cruise, slightly bigger screen. But I don't know, there's something about this NC engine. I think it's a lovely platform. It's nice and relaxed. It seems to work well, the DCT, in this 750 format. 750. Suspension's very compliant. I know it's called the X ADV and it gives it that sort of off-road affair, I don't really think it's an off-road bike, but gravel tracks, the odd green lane, I think it'll be fine, absolutely fine. Anyway, we're catching the cable tech man up. We better slow down a bit. He's turning off. Brakes are nice. Of course, being as it's been run in, we can give it a bit of thrash. Yeah, that goes well enough, doesn't it? I think this is a nice sweet spot, you know, if you're looking for a first bigger bike, or you want your first bigger scooter. There's just enough power in this engine to have fun on. And I think if you wanted to go out on a Sunday ride out with everybody, the group of people you probably ride with these boys or girls, whatever, I think this would have enough poke not to get yourself lagged behind. You'd be able to keep up without trying, if you know what I mean. Up to 50, nice and easy. We've got this mizzle drizzle. When I left Carby's Bay, the sun was shining. I thought, oh, lovely. I'll put my leathers on. Have a nice ride up to Damrells. I got to Damrells and it's mizzle drizzle. Anyway, screen's adjustable. Thought I'd better mention that. So we're doing just shy of 30. If you've never ridden one of these DCT bikes, it's quite simple. Stick it in drive. And if you're not happy with the gear, like now I'm doing 30, I want to just change down, just thumb it down into second. It drops down to 20 odd. It's a little bit better on the bigger version, the 1100 version, because you've got sport modes where you can change it from Sport 1, Sport 2 and Sport 3, and it gives you a little bit better choice of how often it changes or how long it changes, how long it holds onto the gear. But at 20 mile an hour in second gear, I'm getting no chain lash, no transmission lash, nothing. That's quite nice. Yeah, how much are they? I didn't want to say. Because the one thing that puts a lot of people off these ADVs is the actual, hello mate, it's got a sidecar on, is the price. Now maxi scooters in Europe, 11, 12 grand is quite normal, but I don't know, people in the UK don't like paying 11 grand for a maxi scooter. They think, well, if I'm going to pay 11 grand, I'll buy a motorbike. It is basically a motorbike. Don't kid yourself. It's got motorbike build quality. It's got a lovely big trunk underneath the seat. Anyway, we're going to stop because the SW skips man's coming. There we go. Slow riding's a doddle. You've got nice big wide handlebars. Just hold the speed. The speed detector's picked us up. 18 mile an hour is showing 21. So it's overreading slightly. Most of them do, don't they, around the 10% mark. Quite looking forward to giving this bit of go across the top. Anyway, up to the chicane. We're all clear. There we go, 20 mile an hour. It's quite a nice dash, isn't it? TFT dash, of course. The early model came out in about 19. It was updated in 21, and they brought this out from 21 to 24. And the latest model's called a 25. And as I say, it's got a few tweaks, but this is all intents and purposes a brand new bike. It's done 1,100 mile from new. 1,100 mile. So it's a good proposition if someone's looking for one. He come to that junction a bit quick then, didn't he? I didn't think he was going to stop, but still he did. Here we go. So it's a second gear roll on. I'm going to leave it in manual. Just let the gearbox show us what it's going to do. So 58, 59 mile an hour, we're doing fourth gear. Track's quite a nice line. It's very, very windy up here on the hill, so I'm hoping you're getting some decent sound. I suppose the first thing that a motorcycle rider would have to get used to with this is having the front brake on the right and the rear brake on the left. So this ain't a clutch, it's a rear brake. It's something I quite like actually, because you can feather the rear brake into the corner and just, oh, that's nice. It'll be nice to do a brake test on a bike that's been ridden and running and the pads have actually not too shiny. Slow riding. Absolute doddle. So we're rolling down the hill, second gear. Let's put it in third. No, it won't go into third because we're going too slow. You'd have to be in manual if you wanted to select third. Although we've got this mizzle, I've had to lift my visor up, although we've got this mizzle drizzle, it's quite warm. It's only showing 14 on the clock, but it was 18 on my bike when I left Stives. And it doesn't feel cold one little bit. Okay, into a national, third gear. Gently up to 50. Look where you want to go. Just let the tyres take you there. Yeah, I quite like the sound of that pipe. So we'll just slow it down to 40 odd. Brake test, rear brake. Awful lot of pulsing, and it didn't really do a lot. I think you'd get a bit more pressure if you was stamping on it. So about the same again, 40 odd mile an hour front brake. Oh yeah, the front is superb. Yeah, nice. So we'll just turn it down the hill and we'll try front and rear together and see how we get on. So here we go, up to about 40. Emergency stop. Yeah, that's okay. You do get an awful lot of fork dive. So here we go through the little chicane loop. It's a right and a left, a little bit of breakage. It's all clear, tip it in. It's quite slow to turn. It does feel like a scooter when you're riding it. It's not like a modern day sports bike with 17 inches front and rear where you bury the front end into the ground and round it goes. It's a bit slow. More relaxed style of riding, if you like. So we just come down to second, into third. Let the DCT take over again. Will we get an overtaking? Cock it down with a thumb. Straight up to 60 without an issue. So we're holding a nice line. Big lorry coming, Conrad Bailey from Red Roof. Yeah, fifth gear's best at 60 on a hill. We'll drop it into top. There it is, nice and easy. I've got to say, it's a nice bike, this is. I know scooters aren't everybody's cup of tea, but they're so versatile. You could just get on this, nip down the shops, get a bit of shopping, come back home, go on a tour at the weekend if you wanted to, go on a thrash at the weekend. I've got to stop, there's a car coming. There we go, nice and easy. Right, so we'll give it a bit of a run down the dual carriageway, national speed 70. Right away. Into third, 30 mile an hour. So third gear roll on. So 70 mile an hour. I'll let the gearbox do the work then. It's all right. So slight amount of buffeting, not much. Quite a bit of wind noise, but it's more than acceptable. I'll just flash him out. There we go. We're in no rush. As you can see, the roads are dry here. Back there, they were wet. So we'll thumb it down. 5th, 4th, 3rd. It's times like this when it's best to override the auto and just use the manual yourself. So we're in 2nd gear now. Still in auto mode, but we're actually controlling it with the fappy paddles. There's no IAMU. If that's one thing that these DCTs really need, is the IAMU. You get it on the later models. So what's it like? That's a 4th gear up the hill. But in 5th, we're doing 70. Easy peasy. Look at that. 70 mile an hour, no problem at all. I'm just going to pull in behind this van. So have you enjoyed this little video, eh? Sometimes it's nice to ride second-hand bikes. If you have enjoyed this little video, click on the like, subscribe, ring that little bell. You know I'm only too pleased to answer your questions. And if you want to ride this bike, it is now at Damrall's for sale. Come and give it a go. If you've not ridden one, they're worth trying. Anyway, we're nearly back. Just turn in nice and steady. Anyway, this is the Lofty Biker. He's saying ta-ra for now. Ta-ra.